Unit 2, Design and Construction of Snail Pen. When establishing snails enclosure, it is essential to take into account various factors to support the well-being and productivity of the snails. Here are some suggestions to assist you in devising and constructing efficient snail enclosures. Number 1, location. Opt for appropriate site for your snail enclosure. Consider aspects such as sunlight, exposure, temperature, drainage, and protection against predators. Snails thrive in moderate temperature, so avoid extreme heat or cold. Ensure proper drainage to prevent waterlogging, which can be harmful to snail. Fencing. Erect suitable fencing around the snail enclosure to contain the snail and shield them from predators. The fencing should be burrow resistant, as snails have the ability to burrow and escape. Employ materials such as wire mesh or solid panels to deter entry by small animals. Enclosure size and layout. Determine the dimension and arrangement of the snail enclosure based on the quantity of snails you intend to house. Allocate sufficient space for snail movement, foraging, and growth. Account for the snail's growth rate and ensure the enclosure can accommodate their increasing size. Dividing the enclosure into sections or compartments can help segregate different snail groups or life stages. Substrates. Prepare the enclosure substrate using the appropriate materials like soil, coconut oil, or a blend of this. Ensure the substrate is loose, well drained, and capable of retaining moisture. The substrate depth should be adequate for snail to burrow and lay eggs. Shelter and hiding spots. Incorporate shelters and hiding spots within the snail's enclosure. This can be accomplished by integrating structures such as logs, rocks, or wooden boards. This shelter provides snails with protection from direct sunlight, extreme weather conditions, and potential predators. Feeding stations. Establish feeding stations within the enclosure to facilitate easy access to food for the snails. This station can take the form of elevated platform or trays where you can place fresh fruits, vegetables, or other suitable food sources for the snails. Ensure the feeding stations remain clean and free for contaminants. Water supply. Supply a water source within the enclosures to fulfill the snails' hydration needs and maintain humidity. This can be accomplished by positioning shallow dishes or containers filled with clean, chlorine-free water within the enclosure. Regularly monitor and replenish the water supply to ensure continuous availability. Shade and sunlight. Snails require a shade to avoid direct sunlight, which can lead to overheating and dehydration. Plan the enclosure to include shade areas such as trees, shrubs, or artificial structures like shade, clothes, or netting. Nonetheless, ensure that adequate natural light is still accessible to promote the well-being of the snails. Ventilation. Guarantee effective ventilation within the enclosures to prevent stagnant air and uphold a fresh environment. Adequate inflow aids in temperature and humidity. Regulation. Modify the enclosure design to allow for natural air circulation or contemplate the installation of supplementary ventilation system if necessary. Security and prevention. Employ measures to fortify the enclosures against potential predators such as birds, rodents, and larger animals. Routinely inspect and reinforce the fencing and contemplate the addition of deterrents like netting or wire mesh covers to deter predator access. Accessibility and maintenance. Devise the snail enclosure with accessibility in mind. Ensure the presence of pathways or unobstructed areas for easy maneuvering, feeding, and cleaning. Regularly uphold and clean the enclosures to foster hygiene and preclude waste buildup or the purification of harmful bacteria. Remember to account for the specific prerequisites of the snail species you are accommodating when designing and constructing the enclosure. Different species may possess distinct needs concerning temperature, humidity, subtract, and space. Regular observation and monitoring of the snails will enable you to make necessary adjustments to the enclosure design and management practices. Thank you.